So it is now Saturday and I am on week 14, day 5. And also apologies if there's a bit of background noise. I've got the window open because unfortunately my other parrot still hasn't been found. We've looked everywhere at this point in all the local area and it's burnt me out beyond belief. When I walk over a certain amount of steps, I think it's about 17,000, I'm starting to get quite a lot of cramping in my stomach. And I was, as you know, I was already burnt out at the start of the week, so I am under orders from Jason today to have today as a rest day. I'm not allowed to go out looking. That sounds so controlling, but he knows that if he doesn't tell me to do that I will just keep going and going and going and I will not stop. And I will put not only my body at risk, but potentially put Minion at risk as well. For Minion's sake, as he put it, I am under orders to rest today and stay home as much as I can. I'm not staying home all day because my friend is actually coming to collect her birds today. Because her birds have been staying with us over the last few days. It's sod's law, my bird actually went missing the day that they got dropped off. But there've been no sightings, no sound of her. We've got no idea where she is. We've got no idea where she's gone. No one's seen her. She's not come down to anyone and she could be much further away by now. We have no idea. No idea at all where she is. It's hard. It's hard emotionally, and then when you've got pregnancy hormones on top of it all, it doesn't help. I can't help but blame myself. Even though it was an accident, even though it was literally a combination of, as Jason pointed out, it's a series of unfortunate events that led to a disaster sort of scenario. I think the main reason I actually blame myself is because her training is better than this. Her training is so much better than this. And she's ignored it all. She's ignored all her training. She's ignored us. She's ignored our recall. She's ignored our contacts. We just don't know what else to do now. We've got to the point where even my fellow free flight friends said there's no point in searching at this point because she could be anywhere. The best thing to do is to wait, rely on sightings and hope someone finds her or sees her soon and contacts us after seeing our missing posters. Her sister doesn't care. My other parrot does not care that she's missing at all. Could not care less. Could you? Not fussed in the slightest. It's difficult. It's been a difficult week. I'm following orders and I'm actually doing some crochet practice this morning. Part of my step-by-step guide that I'm following. I'm currently doing crochet patterns or learning how to follow crochet patterns and abbreviated crochet patterns. So that's the pattern I've just been practicing. That is the result of my little pattern, which I think I did an okay job. I don't think I did bad at all. Now it's time to unravel it so that I can actually make a start on the next one. I'm at a bit of a loss at the moment for what to do, other than take my mind off it, distract myself as best as I can. This has been a difficult month. Emotionally, physically, in every way you can imagine it's been a difficult month. First week we bought our house. We had to do all the paperwork. We had to go to all the meetings and everything else and get everything signed, make sure everything was done and correct. And then there was the anxiety that something might be wrong or something might go wrong or we just don't know. Second week we actually got our house and we had to go through the rigmarole, contacting all the suppliers and the council tax and the water rates and everything else and switching everything over and slowly make our way through the process of changing our address. Along with that I had to renew my passport, which was a whole rigmarole in itself because you have to, there's very few dedicated post office that actually allow you to do it and then you have to book an appointment and then you've got to try and get there and that was just too much hassle. But it's done and my new passport is getting delivered tomorrow. We still need to change our driving licenses and everything else. Then last week I obviously had the colitis flare due to the midwives prescribing me aspirin, which I actually have my next midwife appointment next week. So I will be giving them, not necessarily a telling off, but I will be having some stern words with them next week and saying I am, as per my GP, I am not to have aspirin or ibuprofen under any circumstances because it will cause a flare-up and a flare-up can stunt the growth of Minion and I don't want that. There's a possibility the flare-up I had last week has already caused a stunting growth, which worries me. And then this week my parrot's gone missing and I've been out every single quaffle, stop getting overexcited, and I've been out every single day since doing an average of 20,000 steps a day or more. Jason's been doing an average of 30,000 steps looking for her and he's skipped all his half marathon training. So he's got a half marathon coming up in November that I was meant to be running with him, can't run it now, but he's had to skip all his half marathon training to go looking for her and nothing at all. It's been quite an emotional week this week with a lot of dark thoughts, a lot of reality facing that we might not get her back, or that she may have already been found and the person that's found her has decided to take her in and keep her. Or it could be that the person that's found her isn't necessarily a nice person and is trying to sell her on. We just don't know. It could be that no one's found her and she's still living wild and eating rowan berries and hawthorn berries to keep alive. It could be that she's run out of energy, she's become exhausted or dehydrated, and something's caught her in the middle of the night. We just don't know. And it's the not knowing that is the most terrifying. Some of our friends did point out that their birds have been lost for 5 days before now. Other birds have been missing for 7 to 8 days before being found and still been okay. And it is that time of year where she should be okay. The weather's nice and warm. There's loads of berries and stuff on the trees and in the bushes for her to eat in order to stay alive. But all we can do now is rely on sightings. All we can do now is rely on sightings and hope someone sees her and hope someone sees our Facebook posts. I'm going to carry on with my crochet for a bit. I'm also meeting up with a friend later today. Or I say a friend, my friend who's coming to pick her birds up. She wants to go to Hobbycraft. Waffle, calm down. My friend wants to go to Hobbycraft later today because she's one that actually got me into crochet, and she's the one that started prompting me to try crochet. So we're going to go have a browse around Hobbycraft later because we're both very crafty people. Like, we both like drawing. She's far better at drawing and sketches than I am. We both like drawing, we both like crafting, we now both like crochet. I've always been a crafty person. I love making things, and my niece is the same. My niece is very, very crafty. Me and my friend are going to go to Hobbycraft later and have a browse, probably just window shop. I might get some new yarn because this yarn is a bit naff when it comes to crochet. It was the cheapest one available, and you can tell it's cheap, but I only bought it for practice purposes, and it's coming quite handy for practice purposes, and it's made me understand the difference between good yarn and bad yarn. I'm going to keep practicing my crochet, watch a bit of YouTube, and put my feet up and relax, like I've been told to do by so many people. So many people have told me to slow down today and just rest. It's hard to rest when one of your pets are out there in the big wide world and you have no idea where they are or what's happened to them. So my friends are actually on their way now to pick up their birds, who are all currently chilling in that room. I'm getting ready. I've just had to get dressed. Hi, Goff. To go to Hobbycraft with them because we are going Hobbycraft browsing to help clear my mind a bit, and also because, like I said, we're very crafty people. So I am trying on the blue Lunetta onesie today. It's a hell of a lot nicer to wear than the leggings and the restrictive pants that I have been wearing, so I'm certainly not complaining at this current moment in time. Anyway, I need to get ready to go. You need to go into your cage, madam. Yes. And then we are going shopping at Hobbycraft. So it's the evening. It's been a hectic day, but in a good way. Thankfully. Me and my friend, when they came to collect their birds, we went to Nando's for something to eat, and then we also went to Hobbycraft to do a bit of shopping, and I got myself some really, really thick wool that I want to try and make a baby blanket with. I just need to find the right pattern or the right stitch that I want to make it with before I actually make it. I really like the wool though. The wool is really thick and fluffy and woolly. I might actually need more to make the blanket bigger, but we'll see. We'll see how far I get and see if I need to buy more. But while I was actually having a meal with my friends, I finally got a phone call that someone had actually found and caught my bird, and she was safe, and I just needed to go pick her up. She was 4 miles away from home. 4 miles. She had flown literally across town. So we live quite central in the town where we live, and she flew to the outskirts, the very, very, very edge. Like, you can't get further than the edge of town is where she flew to. We were shocked. It's no wonder she couldn't hear us. It's no wonder she wasn't responding, because she wasn't anywhere near the area. But she is now home and she is safe, which is a lot of weight off my mind, a lot of stress off my mind, and she is fully grounded. We have made the agreement that we need to, if anything, restart her free flight training and build her back up from the ground up, because her recall is solid, but her confidence and desensitization of the outdoors for some reason has gone downhill, and we really need to bring that back up. So that is our goal for her. But we're just glad we got her back before we moved house. And it's just sod's law. She went missing an hour before my friend's birds turned up, and she was found an hour before they left. Me and my friend has got a bit of a joke going that she just didn't want to see her cousins this week and decided living outside would be better than having to put up with her 4 birds for a week. My God, are we happy to have her back. Now the focus for the rest of the week is we are going to the new house tomorrow to work on it a bit more. We're going to be putting the floorboards down for the bird room, and we're also going to be finishing off painting and setting up our new bed, because we've got a new mattress that's been delivered. We have a new bed frame that's been delivered ready, and then the rest of the week, like the rest of this week, I'm not going to be able to exercise again this week. And to be fair, I've done a lot of walking. I've done a hell of a lot of walking this last week looking for my parrots, so I think I've got away with exercise in that sense, but I won't be able to do any exercise again next week because we are going to be focusing on packing, ready to move home next weekend. And next weekend is also my birthday. It's my 37th birthday next weekend. We're moving into our new home on my 37th birthday, which is just, oh, it's brilliant. It's took us so long to finally buy our own house, but we've finally done it, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to move into that house. Anyway, I'm actually in the middle of cooking my tea because I am starving. I'm tired because my body is finally in relaxed mode now that she's home safe. My body has gone, and I just want to sleep. I have not slept well at all these last few days. I'm making something to eat. Just going to take the rest of the night to chill and relax and breathe. Maybe do some more crochet, watch a bit of YouTube, maybe play a game. I'm just going to take the rest of the day to do what I needed to do in the first place, which is just have a chill day, have a rest day, have a relaxed day. Because my God, I definitely need it. So we are on week 14, day 6. Thank you, my darling.
I'll try.
Weird. It's nice, but it's tart at the same time.
No, I think that's the jackfruit.
You think that's the what?
Jackfruit.
No, if anything, it's the grapes. The grapes are quite tart. Can't do well. I don't do well with tarty things. Or sour. Jason's just made us a fruit smoothie of sorts. As you can see, it's quite a chunky one. Quite a chunky fruit smoothie. I believe it's got grapes, strawberries, jackfruit, and something else in it. Pineapple.
Did you feed her?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so yeah, very tart, but very nice nonetheless. We've actually just got home. We've been redecorating or continuing redecorating our new home. I think Minnie might be having a growth spurt at the moment because I've been having a few mood swings today, to say the least, which is weird. You're not meant to get many symptoms during your second trimester, but I've definitely had some sort of mood swings today. There was a point during the day where we really needed food. I said to Jason, well, what do you want to eat then? Because I'm hungry, but I've got no appetite. Like, I have no desire to eat anything. And he said, no, it's okay, just go wherever and I'll get something from wherever you go. I'm like, that doesn't help the situation because I don't want anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm quite happy having nothing or going home and having something for free. After a few minutes, I still couldn't decide what to eat. So I said, Jason, again, are you sure there's nothing you don't want? He said, nope, anywhere you'll do is fine. I'm like, not helping the scenario. I'm really struggling to make a decision right now because I don't want anything. I literally want nothing. I could happily eat thin air right now and be fine. And then I had to go to B&Q because I had such a clumsy day. I dropped a paintbrush in the paint at one point and I nearly kicked the tray of paint that I was using over. At one point I nearly got it on my face, and then at some point, I don't know when and I don't know how, I managed to knock over an entire pot of brand new paint that we just bought that morning. All gone. All over the floor. Complete waste of money. I was not happy with myself about that. I'm going to shut this window because there's a lot of noise in the background. So I ended up having to go to B&Q in order to buy more paint and also get a few bits for the laminate flooring to go down. I had to get something else and I can't remember what something else was. More rollers. We didn't have enough paint rollers. And when I got to B&Q, I sat in the car for about 15 minutes trying to think of what to eat. And I couldn't come up with anything. So I went into B&Q, got the bits I needed, still couldn't come up with anything that I needed to eat. And I needed to check with Jason what size blinds we needed. So I rang Jason to try and work out what blinds we needed, double checked we didn't need anything else. And I said to Jason on the phone, I am really struggling to decide what to eat. Like really genuinely struggling. I've been on Google Maps. I didn't tell him this part, but I've been on Google Maps. I've looked at all the different things. There's no fish and chip shops open. There's apparently no fish and chip shops near us at all. There's a couple of Chinese takeaways, but I don't want Chinese takeaway, and nothing else is sounding appealing. It's like I literally have no appetite. I have no desire to eat anything right now. So what would you like to eat? Like, is there anything at all in particular? Or do you have any suggestions? And his answer was, no, anything is fine. And I very nearly broke down crying in the middle of B&Q at that answer because I was getting so frustrated and annoyed and upset at myself because I physically couldn't make a decision, because I had no desire to eat. Even though I was hungry, I had no desire to eat at all. I didn't want food. I didn't want anything. And I knew I needed to eat. I just had no appetite. Jason constantly saying, I'll have whatever you have. It's like, well, you're having thin air then, because there's nothing I want. There's nothing I want to get. Everything sounds completely unappealing and is making me nauseous. I ended up getting back to my car and having a little cry to myself because I was struggling so hard mentally, because I could not. Physically, no matter how hard I tried, I could not think of anything I wanted to eat. Not a single thing. The amount of people that go on about these pregnancy cravings, I don't get them. I have the opposite. I have no cravings whatsoever. I don't even want food sometimes. So I had a little cry to myself, made myself feel a bit better. And then I just like, do you know what? Shall we get a Domino's? I don't know, because that's the only thing I can think of that's open right now. I don't even want a Domino's, I don't even want pizza, but that's the only thing I can think of that's even open for food, that I know what I would want to eat, or I know what I can get from there. And he said, yep, Domino's is fine. I'm like, right, fine, we're getting Domino's. And the thing is that neither me or Jason particularly like Domino's pizza. We prefer Papa John's or like Tesco's pizzas or Asda's pizzas. But at the time, we needed something to eat. We needed something to eat quickly. And my brain was just having a moment, let's say. I don't know how else to describe it. My brain was having a moment. Back at the house doing the redecorating and stuff, I felt an ice cream van outside. But during the actual painting and decorating, I felt awful. I was really struggling with the painting because I had to wear the overalls again so to not get my clothes dirty and covered in paint, and I was really struggling. I was so hot in those overalls. I was melting. I've had hot flushes since last night. So last night I would have a hot flush in bed, or what I can only describe as a hot flush. I don't know if it was a hot flush, but I just suddenly got really, really warm. Not like unbelievably warm, just warm, like really warm, like uncomfortably warm. I would struggle to sleep. So I'd throw all the blankets off me and just cuddle up to the pregnancy pillow. And then next thing you know, I got too cold. Like about an hour later, I was too cold, so I was throwing the blankets back on me. Then an hour later, I was too hot, so the blankets had to come back off again. An hour later, I was too cold, the blankets came back on. An hour later, I was too hot, the blankets came off again. And it was like that all night. I really struggled to sleep last night, which I don't think has helped with the emotions. And the same thing was happening while we were at the house during the renovations. Because I had all the overalls on, I had a face mask on just in case, because I didn't want any fumes to get into my lungs if possible, or not too many fumes to get into my lungs. I was so hot. I was really, really struggling. I had to keep on pausing and taking breaks just to have a breath of air because I was just so exhausted and so hot and overheating. And I felt awful because Jason's dad was there and mum was there and Jason was there and everyone was working really hard and trying to get things done ready for us to move in next weekend. And I'm here struggling to paint a wall. I was there panting and puffing like I was running a marathon, just trying to paint a wall. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? And I know what's wrong with me. I'm pregnant, and pregnancy does all sorts to the body, and it does cause you to be warmer than average, and it does cause you to have more blood, so you get lightheaded easier. And it does cause you to get clumsy and dizzy and everything, but I felt so awful for it. I felt so bad that everyone around me was working so hard and I felt like I was doing nothing. I felt like I was being the lazy git, letting everyone else do the work. I felt so bad. So I ended up doing the only thing I knew that I could do at the time, which was trimming the curtains, because we decided to keep the curtains from the original owner. So the owner did leave a few bits behind, and we decided to keep the curtains, but they were way too long and they were causing mold on the wall, where they were basically too long and constantly causing condensation. I basically gave myself the job of shortening them, so like trimming them down. So I started trimming them down, and unfortunately I took my sewing machine, I took my sewing kit, I didn't take my pins in order to make sure that everything was the right length and to stay there. And I also didn't take my fabric scissors, so I had to use a pair of scissors that were there, and oh my god, they were terrible. They were useless, they were rubbish, but I managed to get one of the curtains done. Got to check the length, so I know that when I go back, I can actually start sewing those and actually feel like I've done something for the house. And I also need to do, or we also need to do a little bit more painting, but then once the painting is done and the floor's done in the birds' room, we should be ready to move in, hopefully. We've not got much left to do, but because of my bird going missing this last week, it has just been a nightmare trying to get it all done in one day. And that house is so warm anyway. That house is really warm because it's a terrace house. It is very insulated from your neighbour's side, and it's just, it contains the heat so well, which is not good. It's not good when you actually need to cool down. We're gonna have a chill night for the rest of the night. I am actually going to try and do some crocheting, possibly make my first crochet video, I don't know yet, but I'm finally going to try and make my first project, but this is going to be a tester project because I saw something on YouTube, not YouTube, Instagram Reels, because like I said, I still have Instagram for my parrots, and every now and again it does actually show some crochet things, and it showed me how to make, a reel came up that showed you how to make a newborn bonnet with cat ears. I was like, oh, that'd be amazing because we are due to have our baby in winter, so it's going to need a little hat. So it would be really great if I could actually make one for it. It was a really, really, really easy pattern that even a beginner like me can do. So I was like, do you know what? That's going to be my first project. That's going to be my first attempt at actually making something. I'm going to give that an attempt tonight and see how we get on.